What's up? Welcome. I'm really excited tonight to dig into the new single that came out today by Rozette that I helped write, and I produced it and I mixed it. I haven't gone through the session. I just kind of set it up so I could do this, but I haven't really gone through the session since we made it. So I'm actually legitimately excited to see what I did. I've got the production session up. I figured we should probably just start by playing through the song. So I've actually pulled up the full mix mastered, so we can just listen through that quick, and then we will break down kind of what I did, what I didn't do. But yeah, let's have a listen first.
Hold my breath, 'cause I needed a moment. I'm trying to think it through. Bite my tongue for a little bit longer, 'cause I hate that I hated you. Little pieces help me understand. I never noticed how your hope fits in my hand. Reaching out, 'cause I wanna believe that you're gonna feel it too. This chaos only clears up closer. We can save our tears, they're just salt in the water. Clear cut, bright love. Harder than it looks for our lines to be softer. You and me. Save our tears, 'cause they're salt in the water. Simple things should be something I want, but I'm never satisfied. I get stuck, always chasing a moment. I found that it's hard to find. Little pieces help me understand. I need to know myself to give you a chance. There's a landslide between you and I that I'm trying to push aside. This chaos only clears up closer. We can save our tears, they're just salt in the water. Clear cut, bright love. Harder than it looks for our lines to be softer. You and me. Save our tears, 'cause they're salt in the water. Closer, closer. We can save our tears, they're just salt in the water. Closer. Oh, we can save our tears, they're just salt in the water. This chaos only clears up. This chaos only clears up, clears up. We can save our tears, they're just salt in the water.
All right. We wrote it as a 4-song EP, essentially, but she was really conscious of wanting to keep this very piano heavy so she could play it live just by herself sitting at a piano and have the song translate. She also was into referencing a bunch of like late 90s, early 2000s stuff. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of like retro kind of vibes going on. And the vocal melodies are all kind of supporting where we wanted the song to go. We had a pretty clear vision of what the whole EP was going to sound like before we really even sat down to start writing it. Really, the whole song started with a little piano loop that I made while we were writing it. But when we went to do the real recording, we needed a piano player. So we got Oblivion to come in. And the piano that we did... And we tracked this beautiful grand piano that's at the studio at Velveteen, and it sounded absolutely pristine, amazing, incredible. And then it sounds warbly here, a little bit artifacty, lots of verb on it. if I dry it up. Still a little bit warbly and artifacty. That's because when we finished, we sped the entire song up after it was done, after it was tracked. Everything was in, vocals were done, all the parts were played, and we decided that it needed to come up, I think, 2 or 3 BPM. When we did it, it kind of changed the character of the piano, and I kind of really liked it. I wasn't mad about it at all. So, so real piano, that's the basis of the track, just held chords, and then halfway through start to pulse a little bit, but pretty subtle. But this is really what the song is about, is this piano, and then the vocal. So why don't we just put that in there?
Hold my breath, 'cause I needed a moment. I'm trying to.
And this is not the mix session. This is the mix prep session, so this is committed production. Nothing's EQ'd, nothing's treated yet. Then we get to the chorus. Piano's adding all that energy. We can save our tears, they're just salt in the water. Immediate lift. The vocals doing all the work. The piano's just supporting it, giving you those downbeats. Yeah, so easy song to produce because we wrote it so that it just worked. I think I built this loop during writing. Just the smallest, littlest loop ever. If I remember correctly, that is actually my Elektron ModelCycles box. And again, all of this was time stretched. You can see the time stretch algorithm still on there. So we just started off with that piano. Little snappy thing. I think was also... That might have also been the Elektron box. And then a clap that I think is a splice sample. And so with everything in there, we just needed a little bit more because that didn't sound finished to me. So just a little bit of guitar ambience. And that is all just telly into, sounds like that UAD Fender amp that I love, the whatever it is, the Tweed or whatever. And then just a little bit of compression, a little bit of EQ on the top just to make it kind of sparkly. And then just Valhalla, just not even really doing a lot to it, just dialed the mix back. And again, I think this guitar I originally did during writing. Little S1, just kind of widening a little bit and then tilting it off to the side. And then pulling all of that glorious top end off that I added in. But with a purpose, so that this guitar can help push the song forward. So lots of automating. So kind of as the song starts growing, a little bit more of that guitar rings through. But at the beginning, it's just supporting the piano. And then it cuts back down because this Juno comes in. Yeah, so not a lot happening in this opening. It's really about that vocal. We've got a little bit of percussion that comes in there like we discussed. And then that's kind of it until the chorus. Just lots of ambience. Oh, we do have some little ring mod bells. Again, just looking for textures. Yeah, and that's it. And then just this little bell to help the pre-pop once we get there. This is original guitar. And these little bells. And along with the original piano. It's so fun. Yeah, and then that little Juno just to add some weight and some width. some depth to the sounds. And then, yeah, that little bell that helps us get in, helps us get into the pre. And then the chorus gets big, but not too big. This was actually a really important point. We were not worried about the song being able to get as big as it needed to be. What we were really worried about was holding it in a little bit, because the lyric is quite restrained and the motion of the song is quite fine. We didn't want it to come across, cheesy, and wanted it to feel real. So we played around quite a bit, even during the piano tracking, with different ways to get that piano to hit. So when we hit that chorus, lots of bright pad, getting some air in there, and changing all the guitars around. But the big change is really the drums come in. So we went from almost no drums over here, very minimal, really small sounds, and then all of a sudden blows up, delays on everything, really pushing the song forward, and kick pattern creating a lot of movement. And then we dropped, up to this point in the song we had no bass either. So to support that piano doing those rhythms, dropped an 808 under it. And the reason I was pushing for the piano to be straight is so we could do those rhythms with the drums and the 808 to give movement. But when she went to play it live, just her at a piano, still would push the song forward. So we got that bright Juno pad, and then we added some guitars, some electric, and a little strummy acoustic over on the side there for some more rhythmic energy that's playing real nice with the shaker. Opposite sides, love that kind of panning, because that hat is straight up the center. So the acoustic guitar is basically acting against that shaker. So just a little bit of arrangement tricks there to get different things on the sides, which makes it feel a little bigger in my opinion. And let's look at what we did for this guitar. Let's see how we got that sound. Looks like I did a lot and then just turned it off. Yeah, classic. Classic case of doing too much, and then probably right before I committed it for mix, decided that didn't really need all that, just needed the verb. So it's just Valhalla, nothing fancy. I'm not even doing anything to it. Usually I play around with these and I'm just rolling a little bit of bottom off and a whole lot of reverb, very long reverb. Make it real dreamy. And then just at the end, it was important that it lifted just a little bit more as we head into that kind of post-chorus. So then just a little bit of a key sound, something super modern. I wanted like a little bit of like round modern synth stuff going on. So we did that. So once that was all done and the vocals were in, everything just opens up real nice when we hit that chorus. Got the shaker and the acoustic guitar just holding out the sides and giving us the energy and the brightness. Got the synths supporting that piano, but the piano and the vocal are still right front and center, just how it should be. And then that little guy's coming in. And we've also got just a little pad, just with a little slightly different density, slightly different frequencies. Just adds a little bit as the vocal pulls back. Other thing we should talk about real quick that I forgot to mention is at the beginning of the song, just a little bit reverse piano into that first thing, and then a little bit of reverse reverb on the vocal heading into the chorus. And then we've got this little vocal here that in the post-chorus is just giving us the hook back one more time. Yeah, alter boy, microshift, a little bit of filter, and mostly just chop that vocal.
Save our tears, 'cause this all told,
Then we're into the second verse. Second verse is pretty similar because, again, we're staying kind of based on piano, right? So piano's got to do the bulk of this here. Oh, I forgot this little glidey guy. So I'm a huge fan of layering harmonic basses out wide. So that's what I did here in that post-chorus. So it just kind of comes in there. Subtle, but just something a little gross. It's always important in a very pretty song like this to find something that's super gross. So second verse, of course, it's just been huge, so now we need to keep the bottom end, so just a little Serum sub. And we can look at that patch, but I doubt that it's very exciting. Yep, nothing exciting at all. It's actually the preset, the Essential Subs preset. There's nothing going on. A little distortion, not hitting the compressor, not doing any EQ really, just rolling off a lot of top, so it's just the bottom. And there's a bunch of stuff going on, but nothing's even moving, so yeah, you could have done that with basically a distorted sine wave. So, but it fills out the bottom end, keeps the weight of the song going out after the chorus has been so big. All these drums here that were in the first verse just keep going to the second verse. All those same elements, same snaps, bringing that little loop back at the end, and then we get a new snare at the end when we go into that pre. But for this verse, it's all the same elements plus a sub, and then we do get same guitar, same filter moves, but we do get this new guitar. Just creating a little more energy, a little more rhythmic subdivision. And it sounds like there's some kind of filter move on that, so we should probably look at it. I'm sure it's that same Fender amp with the Telly, because I think I did this whole record with that combo. Yep. Just a little bit of Telly, a little bit of that Fender amp, and RC20 is doing a bunch of the heavy lifting there. Then Space Modulator, which I love this plugin. I can't believe it's free. Highly overlooked plugin. But I mean, you can hear what it's adding. It's just making it spacey and modulatory. Those are things. So getting lots of just ambience and texture out of it. And then just automating super simple filter move. Just starting low, and by the end of this whole section, right up top, opening it up as much as we can. And then with that other guitar, those two filter moves feel like a lot. We've got this bell which says it's an electric guitar, but it is not. And then we've got same ring mod kind of bells as we had before. And then just adding extra things, just trying to layer stuff so that it feels like the track's growing. Let's see what this is. Pigments and lo-fi. Oh, lo-fi space. Nice. I think that had just come out, so I was just trying to find excuses to use it. But let's see what it sounds like without all those. So not necessarily a sound that you would want in this song. I don't know. It's the sound that I wanted in the song. So just taking all the high off, rounding it out a bit. And then the space. That's really the magic here, is that plate is so gross. Really distorty, kind of grimy plate. So putting all that together, so it just fits in real well now because it feels kind of small and distant. So we've got lots of stuff in a track that feels like just a piano. All these Junos. This one we don't need anymore either. Yes, we got all these, Junos and all the all this extra stuff on top of the piano, but the piano is still holding down the song. And then I asked Oblivion for a line when she was tracking the piano. I was like, "Can you just play, something in there?" And she had written this line in anticipation of that because she's also an incredible producer and knows the kind of things that are going to be asked. And she came up with this little line here that really sets up this section. Beautiful line. And that's literally just the piano with some reverb on it. Nothing fancy. And it just fills the hole in the vocal there perfectly.
Simple things should be something I want, but I'm never satisfied.
Perfect part.
Little pieces help me understand.
And then there's that new snare. Just giving us something that we haven't heard yet in the song, and it doesn't come back ever. It's just those 4 hits of that one snare there. And like lots of these synths only happen once. They're only, like this little pluck guy that we spent time going through on Pigments there. It only happens there. This guitar part that's, adding a lot of movement only happens in this one part. I like doing that kind of stuff. Like creates like a real mood for a specific section. And then we are back into chorus after that. So after we play out of here.
I'm trying to push aside.
So same vocal, reverse vocal there. A little bit to pull us in. Through here. Those are important. They're filling a little bit of space there. So a little panning.
For a little bit longer, 'cause I hate that I hated you.
Automating formant. And I don't think I'm automating anything in here. Oh yeah, a little bit of filter. As we progress in the song, I open up those a little more so they poke through.
Bite my tongue for a little bit longer, 'cause I hate that I hated you.
Yeah, so just trying to fill space without having instruments, because I wanted the space in the music. I wanted it to really feel empty. So
you're gonna feel it too.
So again, that's just a little more open, a little more distorted, a little different format, and it gives us, just gives us a different flavor, a little different texture. So the only real big thing that I did on that chorus in terms of vocal production. A big reverb cloud, which is just some Echo Boy into Supermassive. And if you haven't played around with Supermassive, you're missing out. It's an incredible tool that just makes things so big and dreamy, but in a way that doesn't quite sound like reverb, because I don't think it is actually reverb. So anyway, so that's up to where that chorus enters. This is kind of where everything gets as big as it can get. In the first chorus, we were kind of holding back a little bit. The vocals a little more restrained, the production's a little more restrained, but here we're just gonna go all the way. So we got that FM bell, and we're gonna add this little glidey synth that goes with it. We've still got all our guitars that are big and beautiful, and the acoustic that's doing the rhythmic thing with the shaker up here. Now added a tambourine in there too to really ramp that energy, and then all those drums are still big and in, and we've got the 808 playing along with that piano, and then that really wide glidey synth doing that, or that glidey bass, that one playing through the whole chorus this time. We're not bringing it in at the end for density. We've got the bright pad, and then all the stuff that kind of came in that post hook is in off the bat. Got this pad that's adding a different texture, a little bit different, just different harmonic series in the low mids, And then we've got, yeah, the FM bell with its helper. And then at the end, just a little bit of the Selena V. The AARYS thing. So with some stuff on it, some Pan Man and some reverb. Nothing crazy, just getting a little bit of movement out of it. So this end float is a patch I made in Serum, which is always fun to do. Love Serum. And it's just a real simple patch. So we're just kind of getting that little swoop off the beginning. And what else am I doing here? Filter cut off, but it's not really moving too much. But automated the detune off the second envelope. So I don't know if you can really see it, but the detune is, so it's detuning more, so it feels like the sides are changing. Well, I mean, they are changing. So you got 11 unison. So some of those voices are getting more detuned as the note progresses. Little sine shaper, which isn't really doing too much. Chorus is doing the bulk of that sound. And I've just got the low pass on the chorus to kind of pull all the gross high stuff out, because we're just looking for it to fit in with. So that's kind of it. And then in addition to all the little synth stuff, there's this huge vocal stack that comes in, which is just awesome. We spent some time building that to make sure that it got out of the way of everything else that we wanted to have in there. So we've got a bunch of pairs here, obviously, as you do when you stack things. So a nice 3-part. Those are quad, but they don't move. So when it starts, there's a bunch of unison, and then they descend away. And those ones are just moving at the end. The high ones, again, just moving at the end. It's just this first lead harmony here that does the 3 steps and gives you all that movement. But against the piano and against the chords and the guitars, really creates a big lift, lots of openness there. And then the lead vocal on this section is flat out. You think it's as big as it's going to be. But then we get to this end section where the ad-lib comes over top of that huge vocal and blows it up even bigger. There's no way to get that in production. That's just a great singer pushing a song right to the end. But we did want to kind of support that. So we wanted to bring that lyric back kind of under everything. So we built this stack. So just that one line from the chorus, she brings the intensity of the vocal down, and then we also just back off all the reverb and really dry it up. Backed off the reverb on the ad-lib too, to really pull that in close. So that lyric really hits home at the end. And once it was all mixed and everything, that that turned out real effective at the end. I can just play just the end here of the full mastered mixed track, everything. So.
We can save our tears, they're just salt in the water.
Really leaves you with the sense that the song is a performance by a great singer, which it is. And that's really it. There's not like a lot of tricks or anything. It was just good songwriting, great arrangement, and just an incredible vocal performance. That's really what the bulk of the song is. Just trying to stay out of the way so that the vocal can do what it does. Yeah, so that's the breakdown of Salt in the Water by Rozette, written by me and her, and also AARYS. I don't know if you can see that on there, but I have her guitar picks on my desk because she is awesome and gave me guitar picks. And why wouldn't you keep guitar picks from a good friend of yours on your desk? If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for checking it out. And, comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. All that stuff super helps because I do lots of fun stuff on this channel. I've got a bunch of things planned, a bunch of stuff coming up, so you don't want to miss it. If you enjoyed it, please let me know. Hit me up here or on Instagram. You can find all the links everywhere. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody checking this out and watching this. And I'll see you again soon. Peace.